and what my research on stem cells revealed is that genes don't control anything. Rather than being victims of our heredity, we now recognize we're masters of our genetic fate because we can change our beliefs, our environment, our mind, and those are the things that control our biology.
So we're masters of our genetic fate.
Absolutely, and this is really such a turnaround because it's a revolution. Because everyone says, my family has a cancer gene, and I can get that cancer, and now I'm very scared the rest of my life about the cancer. And the fact is, no, that's not really true at all. Genes don't cause cancer. Matter of fact, genes are only responsible for less than 1% of disease on this planet. So 99% of the illness on this planet is not because of a physical breakdown of the machine. It's really due to what I call driver error. And the relevance about it is when we believe the genes were controlling, then the genes were the driver of our lives.
Yeah.
But now we recognize the mind is controlling it. And if we had good programming, like good driver education, how to take care of our health and how to take care of our biology and the environment in which we live, then we recognize we are the ones that are controlling the outcome. So if you have bad driver education, bad care about your health, you will then break down the machine. And then we blame the machine because we've always said, oh, the genes did that, but now we know it's our beliefs in our mind that are controlling the genes.
So when you say less than 1% is caused by your genes, less than 1% of disease, what's causing disease?
Actually, lifestyle, what it is, it's sort of like, let's say you get two cars off an assembly line, they're built exactly the same, and you give one to a hothead kid, teenager, and you give one to an adult, more mature, and then you let them go and you say, well, come down the road later, which vehicle is healthier, which one's still on the road? And you'll find that the hothead teenager car will be more likely to be in the junkyard faster than the other one. I say, well, what's the difference? I say, well, the body is a vehicle. And we are driving the vehicle. If you don't know how to drive in harmony with your biology, you don't have good driver skills, that causes a breakdown of the machine. And up to now, we've been blaming the breakdown as a consequence of a defect in the mechanism.
Yeah.
When in fact, no, you're just inappropriately driving it.
Okay, so how do you get to be a really good driver of your biology?
Well, the first thing is to be aware that your thoughts and your beliefs and how you interact with the world are actually affecting your genetic expression.
Yeah.
And it's really this whole mind-body thing. And for years, conventional science, which I was a part of, really just poo-pooed the idea of mind-body. But now we recognize the real control comes from when you have a thought in your mind, your brain releases chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay? So like emotions, for example, if you have a thought of being in love, you can feel the wonderful glow and the chemistry because the brain is releasing chemicals that complement love. But if all of a sudden something shocks you or scares you, for that moment, you can feel the chemistry in your body change as you can feel butterflies in the stomach or weird or some kind of tingly in your body when things aren't working right. I say, yeah, because when the brain is in fear, it releases all different kinds of chemicals. So your body is responding to the chemistry of your thoughts. And most of us, and the issue is now clear, 90% of the illnesses or 90% of the reasons why people go to a doctor is now due to stress. And stress is like driving your car with one foot on the brake and one on the gas. You're going to break something. Yeah. Yes.
So if your mind can control your biology, how do you change your thinking to be positive?
Well, this is the biggest issue is because we're very confused. When we say the mind, it's actually two parts. There's a conscious mind, which is connected to you as your personal identity, maybe the seat of your spirit, the conscious mind. It's creative. And there's the subconscious mind, which is 90% of the brain, but that's more habit. Yeah. And the issue about it is we believe that, I'm running my life with my creative mind, which is the one with wishes and desires. So I say, Kath, tell me what you want out of your life. And if you give me, I want to be healthy, I want to be in a great relationship, I want a great job, I go, that comes from creative thinking, conscious mind. Well, unfortunately, science has now revealed that we are only using the conscious creative mind 5% of the time, and 95% of our biology is coming from subconscious programming, and that programming came into our lives before we were 7. Right. The story I tell in lectures very quickly is I say, well, I'm sure you were familiar with a friend when you were growing up, you knew your friend's behavior very, very well, and you happen to know your friend's parent. And one day you see your friend has the same behavior as their parent, and you get all excited. You want to tell somebody, you go, hey, Bill, you're just like your dad. And then you back away from Bill. Bill goes totally ballistic, says, how can you compare me to my dad? And everyone laughs, and I go, Well, it's a funny story. It's the most important story in the whole world because, number one, we are all Bill.
Yeah.
Meaning, Bill, everyone else can see that Bill is behaving like his dad. The only one who doesn't see it is Bill. And I say, well, how does that work? And the answer is because he downloaded the behavior from observing his father before 7. And then 95% of the day when his mind's thinking, he defaults to the behavior that he got from his father. So he's playing his father's behavior, but he's the one that doesn't see it. And the reason is why? Because the only reason he's playing it is he's not paying attention because he's thinking. So he's the only one that doesn't see he's doing this behavior. And I go, well, we're all Bill. And what it means is 95% of the day, we're operating from programs that we got before 7 years of age, which came from other people, observing other people and downloading their behavior.
Yeah.
And then we worry about, well, how come my wishes and desires that I seek every day when I wake up and want to go forward in the world, I have a hard time getting there? And the answer is because 95% of the time you don't see, you're sabotaging yourself with behavior that will not support that destination.
So suppose you wake up and you go, oh my goodness, I've turned into my mom or my dad or whoever, and I can see that I'm doing it.
Yes.
How
Isn't that annoying?
I know. How do you stop yourself from doing that?
Well, the first thing is becoming consciously aware. As you said, oh, I observed myself doing it. Well, the subconscious mind is the habit mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's you learn a habit, and then when you repeat and repeat, it will just download the behavior. So guess what? Every time you observe yourself behaving like your mom, let's say, you say, oh wait, stop, that's not what I want. And what you're going to do is you're going to change the direction of that thought.
Yeah.
Every time you catch yourself doing that, it's like learning from a repetition.
Right.
And after a number of times of doing that, the mind will not automatically play that behavior because it already knows the moment you play it, you're going to want to change that behavior. So it acquires a new habit. The new habit is before playing that behavior, it will redirect itself to whatever the new program you were looking for.
Right. So in the same way that you can start a new habit, which is not behaving like your mum or your mom, as you say, you can also do the same and impact your health.
In every level, and this is the most important thing, as I said, we have been programmed to believe that when we have an ill health problem, a dis-ease, we've been programmed to believe that we're victims of a machine going out of control.
Yeah.
And now we have to turn that whole thing around and say, wait, I am in control of this machine.
Yes.
And that I can change it at any time if I become conscious of it. And it's very interesting because, as I said, on a regular day-to-day life, 95% of the day we're operating from programs that we got from other people. And then I say, there's one time in your life where you actually don't do that. And I say, well, when is that? And I say, when you fall deeply in love with somebody. That's the beginning, called the honeymoon. And I say, well, what's unique about the honeymoon? Well, recognize this. When people fall in love like that, number one, they become very healthy. We always say, oh, look, they're in love. See how they glow.
You look great. And
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's like, well, why? Because the mind in love releases chemistry that supports health.
Yeah.
That's why love encourages health and love heals, okay?
Yeah.
And what we also find out is that when people fall in love, that's the one time that they stay mindful. They don't start thinking a lot. And I said, well, what happens then? Well, if you're not thinking, then your conscious mind is the one that's controlling. And I said, yeah, but that's the one with wishes and desires. So I say, so what happens when two people fall in love and at that moment stop playing the programs that have been limiting?
Yeah.
Okay? They both are now playing wishes and desires together. I said, well, what manifests from that? And the answer is heaven on earth. That's what the honeymoon is all about.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I say, well, look, no matter how crummy your life was up until the moment you met this person, boom, your life changes. And I go, what's different? You stop playing the negative programs that were playing invisibly and sabotaging you. And so the first time in your life, you're operating without the program. And guess what you created? Heaven on earth.
So